evening, everybody. Alongside Teddy Atlas, I'm Joe Tessitore. We welcome you ringside for a much-anticipated bout. Let's set the table for you and get ready to dish up this big night of action. Roy Jones Jr. is making his way to the ring now, and he looks very focused for this fight. Muhammad Ali's ring walk. He just exudes confidence, carrying himself like a champion.
Fighting out of the blue corner, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Roy Jones Jr. His opponents in the blue corner, please welcome the greatest of all time, Muhammad Ali.
Okay, let's have a good clean fight. Touch him up and let's go.
Everybody's been waiting for these two to meet up. Now they do, as round one is underway. Interesting matchup, Muhammad Ali against Roy Jones Jr. Teddy, so many times we see Ali punk fellow heavyweights. Now he's going up against Roy Jones Jr., a supreme athlete who's used to doing the punking.
Yeah, and more important than even that, and you're right, Joe, but I look at it in a way of a student facing the teacher, the professor, because, you know, Jones' greatest weakness here is that not only he's not as big, but he's a guy that he's emulated Ali, and now Ali knows that, and Ali's saying, hey, you copied me, but you didn't get the real thing. I'm the real thing. You're going to find out tonight.
Blocks that belt line well.
Keep your hands up.
Devastating blow by Roy Jones. Oh, that's gotta hurt. A fierce right hand by Muhammad Ali. Oh, and he returns fire with a left hand. And coming upon the halfway mark of this 3-minute round. Well, here he is, Teddy. Roy Jones Jr. coming off of an amateur career that everybody knows about. I don't care if you're a boxing fan or not, because of what happened in the 1988 Olympic Games when he was absolutely robbed of a gold medal.
It actually changed the scoring system, the rules of how they went about the Olympic amateur scoring. They instituted a new program because of that terrible robbery. But you know what? We look at the negative. I'll tell you the positive. That stays with you. It stayed with Holyfield when he did not get a chance to get his gold medal in the Olympics, when he was disqualified, where a lot of people thought he shouldn't have been disqualified. It has stayed with Jones. It has made him become a top pro. It has been a memory that has burned in his consciousness.
Accurate uppercut after taking a shot of his own.
Stay away from the inside.
Muhammad Ali's swelling is exactly what his opponent wanted to see. Last 10 seconds. End of the round is upon us, and if the next round holds up like that, we're going to be in for a real treat.
No, we will be, because both these guys have the philosophy that their best defense is their offense.
You need to cover up more, okay? You're leaving yourself open too much. Cover up. You have to start throwing more in volume in there. Throw in volume.
Here we go. Round two is underway. one by Roy Jones Jr. Covers up nicely, gets rid of his opponent's body shot. That was a miss by Ali. Now that's some fine work right there by Ali. A headshot blocked. Well-targeted two-punch combo by Roy Jones. You can see blood now from Roy's nose. A stinging counterpunch after some fine defense by Roy Jones. You've used that description, stubborn, driven, single-minded focusness for Roy Jones Jr. How much does that point to his success that he has?
Probably 75% of it, because the physical abilities, a lot of people have comparable physical abilities, sometimes even better than guys that get to a higher place. But mentally, emotionally, character-wise, you have it or you don't have it. He has it.
There's another left hand from him. Keeps his hands up defensively, protecting the head. Good defense, just covering up down low. Final 10 seconds of round number 2. Blocks the headshot.
Listen, want you to pick his jab. Throws the jab, parry it away, and you'll catch him, okay? You got that? It's gonna happen. It's gonna catch him. Let's go. Jab and throw. Throw to the body, then to the head. Then finish to the body. Yeah. Let's get on this way. Get the compressor.
And round number 3 is underway. Nice work on the combination by Roy Jones.
Keep moving. Keep moving. Keep working the jab.
Wow, is he defensively sound. How important are these mental gymnastics that Muhammad Ali twists and turns, like his pre-fight antics with Sonny Liston, in terms of him getting the results that he wants?
Well, I think he looks for two things. It's a double-edged sword. One is that, you know, he can kind of invade the psyche of his opponent, weaken him a little bit. But it's also for himself. It's to build himself up, to give himself something to aspire to, something to make sure that he lives up to. Puts himself on a spot that now he has to be sure that he handles.
Coming to the halfway point of this third round. blocks the headshot. Another flush shot lands upstairs. What a chin. And can you believe the shots this guy's absorbing? Neither man slowing down as we have 60 seconds to go in this round.
Hit it out, hit it out, hit it out. Let's move.
Roy Jones Jr.'s cheek is ripped open right there. You can see the cut. And a sharp counterpunch by Roy Jones. Combo lands to the head. Final 10 seconds. End of the round here, a round that saw a lot of action, the kind of round that fans pay to be here to see.
Well, these are TV-friendly fighters, and we figured that coming in.
That head moving, keep moving, and I want to see those double jabs. Double jabs.
You just focus on the fight. We'll take care of the swelling. Get on that. Get on that.
Here we go with the fourth round. Muhammad Ali's got a bad cut now that's opened up on his cheek. Keeping his hands up, getting way of his opponent's effort. Oh, what an exchange! That's great stuff. He fires one right back after taking one. Gotta love the work by Roy Jones Jr. Would you rather have a fighter who's feared or a fighter who's fearless?
I feel like I'm talking to Sonny from the Bronx Tale, but I think that I would rather have a guy that has fear, because he's going to be smart all the time. He's going to be a guy that's going to be aware of things that you need to be aware of. If he's so-called fearless, he's going to walk into all kinds of things that are not going to allow him to be a fighter.
Oh, that's good stuff. Firing right back with one of his own. Good work by Muhammad Ali. 90 seconds to go in round number 4. Nice strike after catching one by Roy Jones Jr. Muhammad Ali's now at a point in this fight where his defense is going to become crucial. He has to protect that eye. The swollen eye is getting worse.
Yeah, he does. He has to be cognizant of everything. He needs anything out there that he can use for an advantage right now. He's got to position himself where his opponent can't get into the place where he can throw punches towards that bad eye, towards that blind spot where he has no vision. He's got to keep the fight where that good eye is always able to pick up those punches. He's got to position himself in a perfect way now.
And now they're opening up. Both right hands land. Clicks of the talk. we come to the end of the round. Joe and Teddy with you ringside. Teddy, that's one of those rounds where I wonder what were the judges looking for, because it's tough to kind of draw a line between those two fighters.
Yeah, very close, but one of those rounds where you could steal it. You did a little bit more in those last 30, 20 seconds. Maybe that's the impression the judges are left with.
Listen, I know that take those shots, understand me? Let's see some defense and more punches.
Here we are at the start of another round. A round that could simply add on to a new direction and a new course that this fight has taken. I really like what he was able to do in that last round. Now, he's behind on the scorecards, but you get the sense that the momentum is starting to roll his way.
Well, you get the sense that it's starting to become his kind of fight now.
I would assume there has to come a point in this fight where he has to make the commitment to throw the power punches. It's hard to envision a way he's going to win this fight without going down that road.
He doesn't have the confidence to do it. I don't know if he's mentally strong enough to do it. I think he's worried about throwing hard at the guy because maybe in his mind that means the guy will throw hard back at him.
At the end of the 20th century, many of the greatest of lists were all topped by Muhammad Ali. In fact, Sports Illustrated named him the sportsman of the century. I know Babe Ruth had a great effect on baseball. Michael Jordan's probably the greatest basketball player of all time. But I don't know that there's anybody that touched the world stage the way Ali did.
Well, there probably isn't. At one point, he was probably the most recognizable face on the planet. I mean, everybody knew who he was, and also what he stood for.
Oh! Roy Jones Jr.'s gone down. Let's see how he recovers from this. He went down from a big shot. Now he's got to have some big guts to move along.
You're going to find out exactly what he's made of.
Halfway into round number 5 here. Muhammad Ali is now fighting two opponents. The man opposite him and his eye swelling.
Yeah, but you can't panic, Joe. This is boxing. You know, this is not the opera. These things happen, and champions win under these conditions. So right now, believe it or not, strategy. You got to stay calm. And you got to start thinking, okay, it's this eye that's swollen. I'm going to keep the fight on the side of the ring where I can see with my good eye. You got to really think that clearly in these kind of conditions.
Good stuff in the opening 2 minutes. A minute to go in this round. Tried to land that upstairs and was off the mark. 10 seconds to go in this round. That was a miss by Ali. Round comes to an end. We saw the knockdown there in that round. A little bit of a momentum game.
Yeah, obviously it gives you confidence, but you know what? It can also be a momentum killer, believe it or not.
How so?
Joe, I've had guys where the worst thing that happened to them in a fight was when they scored the knockdown because they thought it was just going to keep happening. And they thought about only the punch they landed, not how they set it up. So they got away from the game plan.
Slip his punch and thrust. Right down the middle. Don't let him breathe. He's hurt. Get him in this round.
So here we are, all wondering, can he survive the start of this round after the way we saw him go down in that last round?
Well, it's up to his opponent. Now, his opponent gets a little careless and he rushes in a little bit too close. He can get a chance to grab those hands and tie him up. And then he can kill a little of the clock, survive.
staying away from those headshots with his defense up top. Devastating blow by Roy Jones. Roy Jones Jr. trying to get back to where he was here in this round. He was knocked down in the last round. Now, Teddy, when you're the opponent and you knock the guy down, those opening few moments of the next round, do you try to size up and kind of take into account where your opponent is? Do you look into his eyes and assess the situation?
Well, I don't know if you get close enough to look right into his eyes as the opponent, but first of all, in the corner, you better not send your fighter out if his eyes don't look clear. That's your responsibility, looking out for the fighter. But as the opponent out there, you look at his legs. If his legs look a little wobbly, you get right on him.
Muhammad Ali's got to find a way to protect that eye. The cut has worsened. And if it gets any worse, you got to think this fight is coming to an end immediately.
Well, what's going to matter is when the doctor finally gets caught up and looks at it is, Joe, not how bad the cut looks or even how graphic it is to the fans out there, but where it's at. The doctor will look to see whether or not it's the kind of cut that if it gets worse, it could actually be physically damaging to his career.
What a great round. 2 minutes in, 60 seconds to go. This is why we love the sport, Teddy. I mean, this is just back and forth action nonstop.
Well, Joe, with special events have happened in history, you remember where you are. Right now, I'm going to remember where I was during this fight. I'm watching a special epic right in front of me.
Glad to be here doing it, too. What a war this is. Able to get rid of that one. End of the round here, and as I glance around ringside and look at the judges, I'm wondering what they're writing down, because that was a tough round to score.
Yeah, it was, and you know, it's the kind of round where one guy would be really smart to take a page out of the book of Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler, where Leonard stole rounds at the end, where he just clipped off 30 seconds, and that's exactly what the judges remembered.
Move that body. You need to move that body more. He's hurt. I need to jump on him in this round, all right?
Well, the ability to adapt, so important. Who can make the changes now as we're halfway through this scheduled 12-rounder? Muhammad Ali blocks that punch. Fine work right there by Roy Jones. I don't know how they are keeping this up. They are setting such a scorching pace of action in this fight. Really wanted that uppercut, but just couldn't get it. Good work on the combination by Roy Jones. Roy able to block that punch. Well-placed counter punch by Roy Jones. Takes one to give one. He comes back with a right hand. On the mark, the counter punch by Roy Jones. What a great job job. He gave one right back in return. Nice work by Roy Jones Jr. It's been 2 minutes of non-stop action. Now the final minute has arrived.
Keep your head moving.
Nice block by Roy Jones. Solid counterpunch by Roy Jones. Great fight. I mean, just a great fight. Both guys giving their all back and forth.
It doesn't get much better.
We come to the end of this round. Teddy, a round in which maybe a lot of trainers don't like to see because it was a very busy round for both guys.
Well, it depends what kind of style, what kind of strength your fighter has, or even what kind of weaknesses. If I had a guy who likes to box, who likes to counterpunch, I want a guy coming at him. Not with a lot of TNT in his gloves, but coming forward where my guy is well suited. He can pick him off a little bit.
Mistake, okay? Just do that counter hook. Make it pay for it. Let's get on that swelling. Compress on that.
Back to action now. We're underway in what has been a completely one-sided fight. You get the sense this one may not go the distance. Good work doubling up that jab by Ali. Muhammad Ali's strategy has been to control things on the outside, and the jab fits perfectly into it.
Yeah, what it's done is it's set up his defense. He's kept his opponent defensive, kept him off balance, off stride, and it's also set up his power shots whenever he's wanted to.
Parries the punch, comes back with the hook. Digs in with a good solid uppercut after taking one. A little head hunting right back to it. Just not there. Straight right hand off the mark. Muhammad Ali's throwing wide punches. If I'm standing opposite of that, I jump on it.
Yeah, well, if you're the fighter, that's where you have to be kind of like into a Kodak moment, where you take a picture and you say, okay, remember that, and the next time, bang.
Oh, and there you go. Roy Jones Jr.'s been stunned.
Work it out, no holding.
Roy Jones Jr. is now in a spot that many fighters have faced numerous times, and that is, how do you deal with seeing your own blood and knowing that you have incurred some serious damage? Look at that cut around the eye.
No, for a fighter to be able to move to the top, he's got to be tested in a lot of areas. Sometimes the test comes when he's hurt. He's hit on the chin. He's dropped for the first time. Sometimes the test comes when you drop the other guy and he gets up and he comes at you. And sometimes the test comes in the form of a cut. When you see your first blood, when you see it, that it's your blood, how do you behave? We're going to find out right now.
That is a big right hand after eating one himself. See, he's got his guard up really well that time, and it protects his head. We come to the end of the round. A round that I'm having a tough time trying to think about who won. I can only imagine what the judges are thinking about. Teddy, if there's one thing you look for in a round like that and say, okay, I'm going to give it to this guy over this guy, what is it?
Well, the first thing is, if I'm a judge, I take a little notepad and I make a little mark down, blue or red corner, what he did early. Because sometimes a judge has a tendency to forget what was done early and only go with what went late.
He'll take care of the swelling. Just focus on the fight and he'll take care of the swelling.
Back to fight action as a new round is underway. Of course, in that last round, it was fairly one-sided. He was hit pretty hard, and now he has to overcome that here.
Yeah, you don't have to be Nostradamus to know that. I mean, everybody saw, he got staggered, his knees buckled, did a little dance there. But what you have to really know now is know why you got hit and correct that immediately.
Nice block by Roy Jones. Holy cow! Roy Jones Jr. stunned, and he is hurt.
Come on now, work it out.
Unable to get to Ali. Ali blocked it. Roy able to block that punch. But gives one. Good work by Muhammad Ali. Teddy, this is one of those moments where you just wish you could pick up the phone up the world and say, tune in. Everybody should be watching this, right?
I have a cell phone. I might do that right now.
Start dialing. The classic wet noodle foundation right there. He's on wobbly legs.
Yeah, and it's not al dente. It's really, really wet noodle.
As we come to the end of the round, Joe and Teddy with you ringside. Teddy, that's one of those rounds where I wonder what were the judges looking for, because it's tough to kind of draw a line between those two fighters.
Yeah, very close, but one of those rounds where you could steal it. You did a little bit more in those last 30, 20 seconds. Maybe that's the impression the judges are left with.
Don't worry about it. We'll take care of the cut. There's nothing. Small cut, nothing to worry about. Throw punches. Don't walk into him with
another round. Will it go in another one-way direction? It's been a one-sided fight so far tonight.